Good afternoon and welcome to Fremd High School for the HETV Game of the Week. It's a clash of kids from Palatine versus the kids from Hoffman Estates High School as the Fremd Vikings host the Hoffman Estates Hawks. In this one, Fremd looks to avenge Monday's game, where Hoffman Estates won 4-2 from the bat of Jim Cliver, who went 3 for 3 with a triple. Cliver leads Hoffman Estates in all three categories: batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging percentage. Today, Fremd looks to avenge that loss as they are below 500 with an 8-10 record. Hoffman Estates is also below 500. They've really struggled this season with a 4-9, as both teams try to get ever so much closer to the 500 mark. Fremd against Hoffman Estates, coming up next. All right, welcome back to Fremd High School for the HETV Game of the Week. I'm Kyle Smith, along with my partner in crime today, Bruce Anderson, as the Fremd Vikings take on the Hoffman Estates Hawks. Leading off today is Eric Majors, and that's a strike right down the middle. Pitching today for the Fremd Vikings is Fuju. He is being DH'd today by McCabe from the Fremd Vikings. That one's another strike. Went above the strike zone there, and he's quickly ahead of the count, 0-2. 0-2 is the count. That's a fastball just above his head. We have a now 1 ball and 2 strikes as Fuju would try to get ahead in the count of all the batters today for Hoffman Estates. That's what he thrives well at, with his fastball locating well on the inner part and outer part of the plate. Now we're back to a 2-2 count. Eric Bennis is playing today for Fremd, who we had a game last year. We went a complete game, as that's a strikeout for Fuju. But we did a game last year, Bruce, and I don't know if you remember that, but Bennis, I think he threw like a 3-hit complete game against, who was he playing against? Oh, he's playing Schaumburg that day at Schaumburg High School.
Yes, he's a good thrower. Hoffman Estates is going to have their work cut out for him today.
Bennis is playing right field today. He's batting third, but great pitcher as well, as Fuju is on the mound today for the Fremd Vikings. That's a base hit. Oh, looks like it's going to be a good pick by the shortstop, but not able to get himself up in time to make the throw, off-balance throw, and that leads to an infield hit, as we have the first hit of the game by the 2-hole hitter, Ribos, who is DHing today. He is DHing for John Keller, and of course, Bruce, you remember that game we did a couple weeks ago where John Keller almost got the win for Hoffman Estates in that thrilling game in the bottom of the 7th from that pass ball.
That was a very good game. Hopefully we'll have something like it tonight.
One strike. If you guys weren't able to tune into that game, Hoffman Estates was trailing 3-2. John Keller pitched a dandy, but was losing when they took him out, and then Hoffman Estates scored 2 runs in the bottom of the 7th in thrilling fashion. That's right off his foot, and bad break for Fremd as it goes off his foot and into left field for a hit. And now we got runners at first and second, 1 out, infield fly in effect. As the catcher for Fremd, who will call time to talk to his young pitcher in Fuju. I'm sorry, that's Hill who is catching today.
So Hoffman Estates off to a good start with the bats. 2 hitters on, both through shortstop.
That brings up the heart of the order now with Dylan Bloom, and then we talked about coming into the broadcast, Jim Cliver, who went 3 for 3 on Monday with a triple. That one's inside for a ball. Dylan Bloom having a good year. He's hitting above 300, doing well in most statistical categories, including slugging percentage for the Hawks. Whenever your cleanup hitter is doing well in slugging percentage, definitely bodes well for the rest of your season. That one's hard hit, line drive. Will it go over the center field's head? It will, and it will bounce off the fence. 1 run will score. Will the second run score? He's being waved around. Nope, at the last second. Goes back to third base. And Bruce, probably a good idea that he held up, because he would have been mincemeat at the plate.
Yeah, you don't want to run yourself out of an inning. Hoffman Estates with men on second and third with only 1 out.
That ball was hard hit, Bruce, but it looked like the center fielder, Ho-Nickel, got a tough read on the ball, but nonetheless, that was hardly hit. I don't think he would have been able to catch that one, even if he had gotten a read off the swing of the bat.
It was hardly hit. It was well hit.
That one past the third baseman. Got a bad read on. I think he could have knocked that ball down, but we'll call it a hit because it was hit so hard. That's why they call it the hot corner, Bruce. Very hard to get reads off the ball, because especially off an aluminum bat, that ball is really coming at third base.
And the Hoffman Estates batters just having great at-bats here to start off.
First pitch swinging. Sometimes the first pitch is going to be the best pitch you're going to see, so be ready to go. Keep the weight back, and so far it's working well for the Hawks. They're off to a 2-0 lead. And they could get a lot more here as they got runners at first and third and less than 2 outs. That one's low and inside for a ball. One-0. Fuju on the mound today for Fremd. Hoffman Estates, according to MaxPreps.com, is only 4-9 on the season. But one of those wins, once again, was the HETV Game of the Week, where they came from behind in the 7th to win it 4-3. And so far, so good for the Hawks. It seems like we need to do more games with the Hawks, Bruce.
I guess.
They seem to bring their best baseball whenever they're on TV.
Goes a runner.
First and third action.
In safely.
Might have been a designed play there, Bruce, as the shortstop came in early to get the ball. And
looking for the runner going home.
Yeah, it looked like a designed first and third play because they knew that they had good speed aboard at first base. But now runners in scoring position and less than 2 outs.
Takes the Hawks out of the double play scenario.
And a base hit could score 2. 3 balls, 1 strike. First base is open if you'd like to go down that route. That would have every base, but there would be a force every base.
Went after ball 4.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Runners in scoring position. Not a bad idea to give him something outside the strike zone, maybe a breaking ball, see if he swings at it. If not, first base is open. That's a high fastball. Easy play for the second baseman. As Dylan Bloom fakes like he's gonna try to attempt to go home on that, but obviously not. And that brings up 2 outs, and now Curcio at the plate.
You're saying that was a bloomin' fake?
Second and third, 2 outs. And the pitch from Fuju, and that's going to be inside for a ball. Curcio catching today. Where's number 9?
Can I get a picture of somebody in the team if you get
He'll
it?
be catching John Keller, who a couple weeks ago pitched a dandy for the Hawks. Got the no decision in that one as the Hawks were trailing 3-2 before they went to the bullpen, and then of course the Hawks came back in the 7th inning to put up a 2 spot to defeat the Conant Cougars. That one's high for a ball. Hoffman. 1 ball and a strike.
Conant assisting in that Hoffman Estates win.
Big air in right field led to the leadoff runner getting on, and then the bullpen pitcher for Conant couldn't get out of it. That's another high fastball for a strike as the batter Curcio swung at it. Got to lay off that high fastball. Everything else, good approach at the plate for the Hawks, but swinging at the high stuff. Let those go and let the plate umpire call a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's another high fastball. Location's off a little bit, Bruce. Seems like everything is high enough out of the strike zone.
Yeah, he may not be striding quite far enough. Got to bring that ball down.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners second and third. Another high fastball. It's 3 straight high fastballs. But Hoffman Estates keeps bailing him out with those swings.
Just got a piece of it to stay alive.
Of course, always hard to lay off that high fastball when you got 2 strikes on you. Always got to protect, and in high school they do not play with a major league strike zone.
Fouls that one off.
Kind of an excuse me swing there, but
very much.
Able to fight it off and lives for another day. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners in scoring position, 2 outs. Fuju trying to get out of it with just 2 runs across the plate. Fouled off by Curcio.
Making him work out there.
You think he goes with another high fastball, Bruce?
I wouldn't be surprised at all. It's been working for him so far.
Hawks having trouble laying off that pitch. Hawks 4-9 coming into the season, into this game, and Fremd 8-10. Now another high fastball. Fouls it away.
The quote from A League of Their Own: "Can't hit him, can't lay off him."
But she did hit him.
Yes, she did at the very end.
So their strategy went for naught in that game as Keller hit a two-run double.
Oh, and there he lays off and takes the walk. Loads the bases.
Base is full, and we got 2 outs at the top of the first.
So Hoffman Estates beat Fremd 4-2 on Monday. Fremd looking for some payback here.
One of the reasons Hoffman Estates won that game is the only runs they scored were in the bottom of the third. That was enough to win. So Fremd having trouble with big innings. Another ball. 1 ball and a strike. I'm trying to not have a big inning as they had trouble with that on Monday.
Hoffman Estate's looking for the big inning. A hit probably scores 2 here. Runners will be off with contact.
Big gap in right center. Run for a mile if he hits it there.
Very high.
Sometimes when you see that, Bruce, you're not extending the elbow down enough. It leads to high fastballs. Fuju getting in a lot of trouble here with that high fastball. Ooh, the off-speed pitch on the inner part of the plate gets Herbert to swing at it for strike 2.
Full count here.
Runners will go at the pitch. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Goes on the pitch. Right down the middle for strike 3.
Can't do that.
But
Can't leave the bat on the shoulder to end the inning.
I think he was thinking off speed, and Fuju went with the fastball right down the middle for strike 3, but the damage is done. An RBI double from Bloom, an RBI single by Cliver. We'll go to the bottom of the second with Hoffman Estates 2, and the Fremd Vikings coming to the plate. Bottom of the first we are, as Hoffman Estates leads 2-0. The Fremd Vikings coming to the plate. Well, Bruce, if Victor Fuju has anything to work on going into the next inning, it's definitely trying to get those fastballs down. He's had real trouble locating that fastball. It's coming out of the strike zone enough. Got to extend that elbow down, try to locate that fastball.
Yeah, he was high all inning. That got him into trouble, but he was able to get himself out, leaving 3 runners stranded. Big break for Fuju.
And John Keller on the mound. He is not batting today. Gribos is DHing for him. Scouting report today on John Keller. Likes to locate the fastball on both sides of the plate. Good off-speed pitch. Likes that changeup on the inner half. That one's on the inner part for a strike. No balls and a strike as John Keller is going to get ahead, try to stay ahead. Another pitch from Keller. That's low and outside for a ball. 1 ball, 1 strike. John Keller on the mound. Hoffman Estates leads 2-0. Thanks to an RBI double by Dylan Bloom and an RBI single by Jim Cliver. 3rd pitch today. That's outside from Keller.
That's a strike.
I called a strike on it. Okay. Remember, we're at the high school level. It is not a major league strike zone. Usually they do a baseball in both corners of the plate. And just below the letters, just below the knees for strikes. That one's a high fastball, but Bruce is able to tomahawk it into right field for a base hit. Great piece of hitting from the leadoff hitter for the Fremd Vikings, Seidel.
Hopefully he's not suicidal.
Well, that would be good, Bruce, if he wasn't.
That's right. Good hit to right field.
Luke Seidel, number 2, playing left field today. That'll bring up the number 2 hitter, Tommy Wingen, wearing number 7, playing second base. Goes on the pitch. That's a strike. Beautiful throw. Did he get it in time? He did. Nothing the catcher could do on that, Bruce. Perfect throw, but sometimes a great jump will beat a perfect throw. And that was a great jump from the leadoff hitter, Tommy Seidel.
Very close play at second.
Sorry, Luke Seidel. Tommy Wingen is at the plate. Got under the tag, though. No balls and a strike. That one's fouled away. Will it stay in play?
That's
Coming
yours.
And just out of the reach of the 3rd baseman. That'll be Justin. Oh, sorry, Goosty.
Thought you had that one.
I thought I did too, but can't be having any fan interferences today, Bruce. Don't want another Steve Bartman incident.
That's right. No security here to save us.
No balls, 2 strikes.
Oh, hit him.
Hit by a pitch. Big time break for Fremd. Bad break if you're a Hoffman Estates fan, as that puts runners at 1st and 2nd, nobody out, in the heart of the lineup coming up. And that'll bring up Eric Bennis. And like we said, if you want to check out that game against Schaumburg last year, it's on YouTube as Eric Bennis pitched to Dandy, a complete game. I believe he gave up like 3 or 4 hits in that one. Actually, no, I think it was the Schaumburg pitcher that went the complete game. Eric Bennis went like 6 innings. That one's low for a ball. I'll call that one a strike as well. Definitely calling it on the outer part today, just off the plate. No balls and a strike. Runners at 1st and 2nd, nobody out. Another pitch from Keller.
High.
Well, the normal baseball fan would be like, why isn't he bunting here? But When you have the 3 and 4 hole hitters, usually they're swinging away. Usually they're your best hitters. Even at this level, you usually want your 3 and 4 hitters to be swinging away. And that one's high for a ball.
So Keller in trouble here early.
2 balls and a strike.
Both pitchers off to start the game. Not on with their control at all.
That one's a bunt from Bennis, and he fouls it away. So now 2 balls, 2 strikes. As Bennis has one job to do, and that's to get the runners over to second and third. See if he can get the ball to the left side of the infield. Hopefully stay out of the double play. Try to get it in between the first and second baseman. Inside out swing, try to drive it to right field. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners at first and second. Beautiful.
Off speed, brings him up.
Got him. And that brings up McCabe.
Keller needed that. Sets up a double play to end the inning.
Will McCabe at the plate. Runners at first and second. Line drive. Will he get it? Yes, with the shoestring catch for the second out. Bad break for Will McCabe, as Hawk Harrelson would say. That's a hang with him. That puts runners at first and second now with 2 outs. Nothing much you can do, Bruce, but just shake it off and go back to the plate your next time up, because that one was well hit. Can't hit it harder than that.
And good base running not to be caught on the next base when he caught that. Looked like it was going to fall.
Runners at first and second. 1 out, Keller from the stretch. That one's low and outside for a ball. Yeah, Bruce, because when that happens, not only did you overrun the bag and you got to get back to second, but you'd also have to touch third base on the way back to second base, and it's just really hard to get back to the base in time. So great base running from that line drive out from Will McCabe, but that's another one outside. Well, we saw a week ago Keller was great, 2 weeks ago, when Keller was great as locating his fastball on the outside corner, but today a little bit off. As he's behind again. 2 balls, no strike, 2 outs.
Right.
2 balls, 1 strike. Once again, it is not a major league strike zone. So if you're wondering why these are strikes, usually they put a baseball in both corners of the plate to keep the game moving, because these pitchers are not professionals yet. That one's low.
Into the dirt. Runners do not advance.
Now at the college level, they'll be using a major league strike zone, but for now they use a little bigger strike zone. Not so big, though, as you would see in Little League. 3 balls and a strike. Keller trying to get out of it.
All 4, loads the bases.
Walks McCabe. Loads the bases with 2 out. Bringing Jostin to the plate. He is playing shortstop, Tommy Jostin. Well, Fuju got into trouble in the top of the first, and Keller continues it in the bottom half. A walk, a hit batter, and a single, but so far no damage has been done yet. That one's hit in the air. Will it stay in foul territory? Just out of play. Hey, if that was Rizzo, he would have gotten it. Remember that play where Rizzo jumped up on the dugout, made a great play? I think that was 2015 when he did that, and he dove into the stands. It was pretty impressive. But he's not Anthony Rizzo, so not able to make that play.
I think that may have hit a fan over there.
No balls and a strike, bases loaded. Ground ball, hit right at the shortstop. He'll throw it to second base for the easy force out, and that will end the inning. So a leadoff single, a hit by pitch, a walk, all 3 runners stranded on base. And we'll go to the top of the second with Hoffman Estates leading by 2-0. Top of the second, Hoffman Estates leads 2-0. I'm Kyle Smith along with Bruce Anderson. If you're just checking out today's game, it's 2-0 after an RBI double from Dylan Bloom and Jim Clifford with the RBI single. But a good job by Victor Fuju by getting out of the inning with the bases loaded and a called strike 3 on a 3-2 count. Let's see if he can work on that momentum he gained from the top of the first. And leadoff batter, strike 1. Leading off that'll be Slinger Lynn, who's playing center field today for the Hawks. Popped up to the left fielder. Should be an easy play. And that'll make it 1 out, 1 up, 1 down for Victor Fuju.
Good hustle. He was on his way to second when that ball was caught. So just in case.
Always want to be hustling, Bruce, but make sure you're eyeing the ball as well. Some players will hustle out of the box, and they won't realize that if the shortstop or left fielder drops the ball, they can still get thrown out at second base. So, but I think he would have made it to second base if the left fielder had dropped it.
Overcast day here, threatening to rain. Holding off so far.
Ground ball to the third baseman, off his glove. That'll be an E5. No hit given up from Fuju, so it'll be a 1-out error. The runner at first and 1 out. So that'll make Majors 0 for 2, but he has been on base once today. That brings up Garibos, who got an infield hit, as it was a nice infield hit in between the third base and shortstop hole. That was fouled away.
Nice catch by the on-deck hitter.
That's what started the rally in the top of the first. Garibos got an infield hit in between the shortstop and third base hole, and then a big base hit from Barnes right off the pitcher's foot. That one's popped up. We'll go to looks like the shortstop here for the second out of the inning. But Barnes got a single that went off his foot, off the pitcher's foot. Bad break for Fremd, and then Dylan Bloom ended up hitting an RBI double to make it 1-0.
Looks like Fuji's got a better control of his stuff here.
Brings up Barnes at the plate, 2 outs, runner at first, that one in the dirt. Great block from the catcher. Catching today is Hill. No relation to Aaron Hill, who, if you're a big Major League Baseball fan, Aaron Hill has multiple cycles in his career. The unknown cycle machine. One's outside, low for a ball.
Motorcycle, bicycle, unicycle.
Yeah, he's hit multiple cycles in his career, but I think he's only been to 1 All-Star game. Baseball's just one of those interesting games where any given day you just never know what's going to happen. 3 balls, no strikes. Whereas Jose Hernandez, I think in 2002 he led the league in strikeouts, but he was also a Major League Baseball All-Star for the Brewers. That one's down the middle for a strike. That's what's great about baseball, Bruce. There's all these different stats and all these different human interest stories, and any time you go to the ballpark, you just never know what's going to happen.
You never do. On any given day, any given team can win.
It's fouled away. Well, definitely Fuju has learned from his mistakes in the first inning, not throwing so many high fastballs and locating his fastball better, and now we got 2 outs, runner at first, and he's 1 strike away from getting out of it. Good pickup move, but Major's able to get back in time. Major's leading off today. We'll see if he's able to get to first and third on a base hit to right field. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Going on the pitch. That one's high for a ball. There might have been a design pitch there, Bruce, where you got first base open. See if they chase a high fastball, because we saw in the top of the first that the Hawks were having trouble laying off it.
Well, first base not really open because there was a man on first base.
I mean, but you know, like only a runner at first, not like the bases were loaded.
Right.
And they were having trouble with that high fastball. That puts the runner in scoring position, though. That one's fouled away. Definitely getting better, though, locating the fastball. If he does that, he should be able to go at least 4 innings today. If he continues to have problem locating that fastball, we'll see the bullpen get up quick and early. 1 ball, no balls, 1 strike. Pitch, line drive, will it stay in fair territory? That one's fouled away into the bullpen. No balls, 2 strikes to Dylan Bloom, the cleanup hitter today for the Hawks. Dylan Bloom is the cleanup hitter, but Jim Cliver is their hottest hitter. Leads the Hoffman Estates Hawks in all 3 major categories. His slash line with batting average, on-base percentage, and slugging percentage. No balls, 2 strikes. Runners at first and second. The Hawks looking to improve their lead. They're only up by 2. The pitch from Fuju. Ground ball to third baseman, and has an easy play at third. He'll get him for the 4th out. So an error at third base, a walk, and 2 runners left on base. Bottom of the second, with the Fremd Vikings trailing the Hoffman Estates Hawks 2-0. 2-0 is our score as we go to the bottom of the second with Fremd trailing 2-0 to the Hoffman Estates Hawks. Well, it's only 2-0, Bruce, but both pitchers have struggled a little bit with their location. Fuju's pitched 2 innings. He's already given up 2 walks. In that last inning from Keller, he already gave up a hit by pitch and a walk. So a little bit of struggling pitchers with their location today.
We'll see if Keller settles down like Fuju did. Regain some control.
That one's high and outside for a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. To Hole Nickel. That one's
check swing.
Checked it up, and they appealed to first base. Did not go. 2 balls, no strikes. John Keller on the mound. Pitched very well 2 weeks ago for the HETV game of the week. That was Conant against Hoffman Estates, but today he's definitely struggling.
High pop fly out to right field.
Well, it's an out, Bruce, but no style points on that. Got kind of lazy, didn't use 2 hands. He didn't drop it, but I'm sure that Chuck Abbott, head coach for the Hoffman Estates Hawks, would have been very upset if he had dropped that ball and had not used 2 hands.
No doubt.
I know when I was playing ball in American Legion and a little bit of Colt League, that if I ever dropped a ball and didn't use 2 hands, there was 2 words I'd hear from my coach: run, laps. And after I did that, I realized I should probably use 2 hands on that mitt. No balls and a strike. One's low and inside for a ball. Evens up the count at 1 ball, 1 strike apiece.
I guess run laps is better than sit down.
Well, after about 5 laps, Bruce, sometimes I think I'd rather just been benched than having to run all those laps after the game. 2 balls, 1 strike. That one's low for a ball. 3 balls and a strike. Well, the first batter, he was behind in the count 2-0, and once again behind in the count in this one, 3-1. Keller just having all kinds of trouble with his fastball. That one's fouled away. But all that matters is the scoreboard, so if Keller can get into a groove, Hoffman Estates is going to win this one, because you would assume Keller is going to pitch at least 5 innings today. Might even go the full 7 for a complete game.
Well, not if he doesn't get better control on his strikes. Oh, rings him up.
Pitch. A little bit outside, Bruce, but the home plate umpire has been really consistent with that call today.
So big break there for Keller.
It was close, way too close to take. That'll bring up the catcher Hill at the plate, no relation to Aaron Hill, the Major League Baseball second baseman. Outside for a ball.
We'll see if Keller's over the hill or if Hill gets on base.
One outside for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes to number 11, Nate Hill. Another outside pitch for a ball. 3 balls, no strikes. Never want to walk the leadoff hitter, but 2 out walks aren't exactly great either. That one's fouled away. Gave him the green light on 3-0, Bruce. What do you make of that call?
Hey, when you're behind, 2 outs, why not?
3 balls and a strike to the 9-hole hitter, Nate Hill. That one's low and outside for a ball. 2 out walk. Second walk of the day given up from Mr. Keller. 2 walks and a hit by a pitch. He's only given up 1 hit, Bruce, but 4 base runners. Definitely having control problems today.
Yes, he is.
But only giving up 1 hit, so it's not his stuff that's the problem, it's locating it. That was
wild pitch.
Ball. Yeah, I'm going to call that a pass ball. I think that should have been blocked.
Okay, a wild pass ball.
I'm also a catcher, so I'm a little bit biased about these things. Well, former catcher, the White Sox won't be calling me up anytime soon. 1 ball, no strike.
Strike.
Back when I was catching, there was this drill. If I didn't block enough balls, it was called duck squats, and you'd have to like block a ball and then squat all the way from home plate to first base. I learned how to block a baseball after that. I'll tell you that.
So you did learn squat.
After about 10 duck squats from home plate to first base. I definitely learned my lesson on how to block baseballs that were in the dirt. You could definitely feel that on your knees. And I wasn't wearing knee savers that day either. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ooh, just got it. Got a piece of it, fouled away.
Staying alive, staying alive.
Is that your favorite song from the 70s?
No, but it's apropos in this position right here.
What's your favorite 70s song, Bruce?
Yeah, I'd have to get back to you on that.
That one's a little ground ball. The third baseman, oh, he boots it. Oh, he should have looked at the, oh, they called a foul ball. I was wondering why the runner at second base, Hill, was just lollygagging back to second base. Like, what? Just throw it, get into a rundown. But, oh, it was fouled away. Big break for the Hawks, as that would have been runners at first and second and 2 outs. That one's low and inside for a ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
I was a bit confused by that one as well. If you can track him down, you can tag out the runner. Wait, he's going back to second.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner in scoring position. What a nasty pitch.
Breaking ball, caught him looking, just frozen like a deer in the headlights.
That was a beautiful breaking ball from Keller. So another walk from Keller. That's 2 walks and hit by pitch, but he's only given up 1 hit. And we'll go to the top of the third with Hoffman Estates leading 2-0. Top of the third as Hoffman Estates leads 2-0. Bruce, I think it might be one of those days for John Keller, like one of those games we saw from the movie Bull Durham, where that pitcher wouldn't be able to give up any hits, but he'd walk a lot of guys. It seems like a Bull Durham type of performance today from John Keller. He's only given up 1 hit, but he's also given up 2 walks and a hit by a pitch. So the good, the bad, and the ugly today from John Keller.
Yeah, he's been very lucky here today.
There's also a game before Edwin Jackson, Edwin Jackson, before he joined the White Sox, he was on the Diamondbacks, and he threw an 8-walk no-hitter. Well, it's a no-hitter, but it's not exactly the way you'd want to slice it up.
What was the line from Bull Durham? 13 walks, a new league record.
Didn't he have like
12 strikeouts?
Yeah, 12 strikeouts.
Also a new league record. Swung and a miss. So Mr. Fuju getting control of his pitches here. There's a high fly ball out to center. Center field camps under it. No trouble making the squeeze on that one. A long fly ball for an out. Played it perfectly.
That'll bring up the 6-hole hitter, number 9, Curcio, for Hoffman Estates. Not to be confused with Crucio, the famous spell from Harry Potter. That one's fouled away. You ever read Harry Potter, Bruce?
Yes, I did.
All 7?
All 7 of them.
Do you remember what the spell Crucio does?
I think it just makes you shrivel up like a bug.
No, it's the torture curse.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, you do shrivel up like a bug. I'm thinking of like another curse. But yeah, you're right. I was wrong. I'm the wrong one here. Yeah, good job out of you. I wasn't expecting that. Surprised me today, Bruce. Good job out of you.
Yeah, I'm better at books than I am with TV. That was actually bedtime reading for my son.
Oh yeah?
I'd read until he fell asleep, and then the book was so good I'd go on and finish the chapter.
Did you read all 7 books to him?
I don't remember if I got all 7 read to him or not. He went back and read them all himself later.
Oh, nice.
But it was a year or 2 between books, so he kind of grew up there.
That one's fly ball to left field. Caught for an out. When I was first introduced to Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, I read the first chapter, and my dad he got a big recommendation from his friend who gave the book to my dad, and then my dad gave the book to me. And I read the first chapter, and I'm like, man, this book sucks. And I was almost done like reading it, and then the second chapter was pretty good, and then the third chapter was like the greatest chapter I've ever read. And I was only 10 years old at the time, as that one's fly ball into the left center gap. Easy play for the center fielder. We'll get to the end of the story after this break, but Hoffman Estates leads going into the bottom of the third, 2-0. Bottom of the third inning, Hoffman Estates leads Fremd Viking as they come to the plate in this bottom half of the inning. Well, like I was saying, Bruce, the first chapter I read from Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone out of a recommendation from my dad's friend. Hated the first chapter. Second chapter was all right, this is okay. And then the third chapter was amazing, and it just got even more amazing and even more amazing. I never, to this day, like Chamber of Secrets was good and all the other books were good, but just how I was inclined to read the other chapters of J.K. Rowling's classic Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone. I think that's really what drew readers in. At least that was my opinion, just how the third chapter was so good that you just wanted to read more. And I've never really read a book since then, and that's why she's made millions and millions of dollars off this franchise.
Yeah, definitely page turners. Had a neighbor saying that I was remiss in letting my children read it because it was advocating sorcery to children. Like, have you actually read any of the books?
It is what's that religion called? Wiccaba, or you know what I'm talking about, like where you...
The Wiccan religion?
Yeah.
Witchcraft?
Yeah, it's definitely not a Wiccan type of propaganda book.
I actually lent him the first book to read for himself, and he had to agree after reading it that it wasn't anything that would poison a child's mind.
One's fouled away. Did you ever see the Lifetime original movie about J.K. Rowling's life?
I did not.
Ah, it's really good. Really good movie.
But not only do I have all the books, I have all the DVDs.
That one's a strike on the inner part. To the two-hole hitter. That's Tommy Wingate.
Big cut on a curveball.
No balls, 2 strikes. Little ground ball. Keller will easily get it. Underhand throw to first base for the out. Well, Fremd has had their chances today, Bruce, but they just can't seem to hit the ball. They have 4 base runners, but only one of those was from a hit. The other 3 were 1 hit by pitch and 2 walks, and if Keller gets into a rhythm here, it might be an easy day for the Hawks.
It looks like he's settling down a bit this inning. Drives him off the plate inside for a ball.
That's the 3-hole hitter, Eric Bennis, one of their star pitchers on this team as well. Bennis with the
strike
on the outside part of the plate. Definitely been consistent with that call today. John Keller is not batting today, just pitching for the Hawks.
Off speed, outside, maybe high.
It looked like it was high. It definitely looked like it got part of the plate. 2 balls and a strike. That one's high for ball 3.
Would have needed a step ladder to go after that one.
Well, the Hawks have had trouble laying off the high fastball, but that's definitely not been the problem for the Vikings today. They just cannot make solid contact. That did not miss by much, Bruce.
No, I thought he might have had that one.
But he hasn't. The thing about this plate umpire, definitely calling that outside corner. Not too much on the high stuff. Seems like a major league strike zone for around the plate, but when it comes to pitches on the outside and inside part, just a baseball distance apart. Runner at first, 1 out, bringing up the cleanup hitter, McCabe. That one's inside for a strike.
Off-speed pitch, breaks back. Is this the first leadoff hitter that Fremd's had on?
No, remember the leadoff hitter was out on a 1-3 putout. So now they
oh,
did.
That's right.
Seidel got on in the first inning to lead off with a single. That was the only hit of the game.
Right.
Three walks already given up from John Keller, but he's only given up 1 hit. Another high fastball, though. First ball of the count.
High fastball seemed to be the special of the day.
This Fremd Vikings team is head coached by Chris Piggott and assistant coach Dave Hochstetler. And in a run down. And looks like he's going to be mincemeat on the bases.
Oh, he missed him.
And Chris Abbott's going to argue that call.
Hoffman
Bruce,
player absolutely cannot believe that.
Bruce, what do you think? Did he get the jersey or not? It's a very tough call. I think the base umpire might have a point here.
Well, he was definitely closer to it than we were. Hard to tell from this distance. I thought he had him.
That's why, if in doubt, get that tag low. Don't reach. Make them run into the tag. Don't leave it up to the umpire. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Strike.
Strike 3 just below the knees, but that's a strike at the high school level. Good call from the plate umpire. 2 outs.
So Keller pitching a break there.
A very interesting stat line today from Keller. 3 walks, a hit by a pitch, but only 1 hit given up, and already 4 strikeouts.
Off-speed pitch for a ball.
Like I said, it's been the good, the bad, and the ugly, but mostly the good. Yeah, we'll say mostly the okay. I wouldn't say that he's been good. I think he's been decent. It's outside, strike. 1 ball and a strike. To the 5-hole hitter, it's going to be Tommy Jostin. Jostin got a job to do, get that runner in after a big call at second base during the rundown. 1 ball and a strike.
Swung on and missed.
Big swing. Not able to get anything on it though. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Let's see if Keller can get out of the damage after that controversial play at second base from the base umpire. In the dirt for a ball, 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Catcher pops up to his feet, runs the man back to second.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Fremd being shut out today from John Keller's decent pitching.
Inside.
You gotta wear that, Bruce. We got ice.
Ice in the back of your head.
They got helmets on. It's all right. A little CTE never hurt anybody. Just kidding, just kidding.
Oh, breaking ball.
Looks like it hit his elbow. Hit by pitch, take your base. Well, Tommy Jostin has an on-base percentage today of 1,000, but he doesn't have a hit.
2 outs, men on first and second. That sets up a force out at any of the bases.
Except home.
Which is not really a base, it's a plate.
Isn't it interesting of all the shapes they thought of home plate to be back in whenever baseball was officially created that they thought of a pentagon? The 3 bases are squares, but then home plate is a pentagon. Kind of interesting how they thought of that back in the 1860s and 1870s. Runners at first and second. Easy play for the third baseman. So that will end the threat. Once again, Tommy Keller gets into trouble on his own accord. A walk, a hit by a pitch, a controversial call at second base on a rundown, but nonetheless, Keller gets out of it, and we'll go to the top of the 4th with Hoffman Estates still leading 2-0. 2-0 is our score in the top of the 4th. As Hoffman Estates leads 2-0. One last time, Bruce. What do you think the base umpire saw on that second base? That he just kind of moved away from the tag?
He must have hula around it or something. Since he was maybe able to just jump out of the way at the last second.
If you're just joining us, there was a big call at second base from the base umpire as runner got into a rundown between first and second, got up too much on his secondary lead, and the umpire called him safe, said they did not tag his jersey. So that was inside for a ball. Luckily, though, Hoffman Estates got out of it unscathed with a runner at second and 1 out. Now, Fuju back on the mound and getting into trouble again. 2 balls, no strikes. Did a very good job in the 3rd inning, 1-2-3. He's giving up 2 walks today, and Keller for the Hawks has given up 3 and 2 hit by pitches.
Had the duck out of the way of that one. 3 straight balls from Fuju.
Three balls, no strikes. The dreaded leadoff walk looming.
Strike called. I think probably my favorite 70s song was Lady by Styx.
Can't go wrong with that one. Time for a ball. The dreaded leadoff walk, and that's his 3rd one on the day. And that's the 8-hole hitter, not exactly the guy you want to walk. That brings up the 9-hole hitter, Slingerland, who's playing center field today for the Hoffman Estates Hawks. 2-0 on this pretty nice day here at Fremd High School. The rain has not happened yet. Forecast set around 6 o'clock. It's about 5:45 right now. That one's low and outside for a ball. Game going by fast today. There were 2 runs in the top of the first, and after that, nobody scored.
4 out of 5 pitches, balls.
Kind of like Ricky Wild Thing Vaughn right now for Fuji. That one's popped up. First base side. First baseman on it.
Not able to get under it.
Was not able to do the Willie Mays over the shoulder catch and fouled away first strike.
Not even Willie Mays Hayes.
One ball and a strike. Runner at first, nobody out. Hoffman Estates trying to increase their lead. They only lead by 2 right now.
Runner going, fouled back.
Looked like a hit and run. I don't know if Fremd read the signal or not, but if they did, it was a great pitch from Fuju, as all the batter could do on that hit and run possible call is to foul it away. Of course, on a hit and run, you got to swing at it unless it's about to hit you.
Wind picking up a little bit here.
No rain yet, though. Just been overcast all day today. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
High pitch. Runner scampers back to first base.
Good job from Hill by making sure that wouldn't be a pass ball, catching it and making sure it didn't go to the backstop.
Hill looking down to first base to see if he had a throw.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner goes on the pitch.
Inside.
Good throw from the catcher. And they say the batter interfered on the play, so that means the runner's out.
Did you see what he did to interfere?
I guess he moved inside the box, which would have been interference. I've very rarely seen that call, though. It's usually called at third base. That's a ground at third base for the up. Usually, Bruce, they make that call when the batter steps out of the box and the catcher tries to throw it to third base. Not really called that much at second. But then again, I'm not the plate umpire, so he might, as long as that runner's making a move to try to inhibit the catcher from throwing it, that is technically interference, even if the batter's still in the box. 2 outs, nobody on. So either way, a couple of controversial calls from the base and plate umpire. That one was definitely, I don't have the exact answer for it, whereas the one at second base, I definitely know what the base umpire saw, or at least I have a theory about what he saw. 2 balls, no strikes. If you're just joining us, there was a play at second base on a rundown where the umpire called him safe, said he missed the tag, and just then, the plate umpire said interference on the throw to second base. 3 balls, no strikes. Pitcher asked for a new ball. That's Victor Fuju. Nobody getting warmed up yet, neither bullpen. As both pitchers have struggled with location, but they have not struggled when it comes to giving up runs. Besides the top of the first, we haven't seen anybody else reach home plate. Hoffman Estates left the bases loaded in the first inning. And runners at bases loaded in the bottom of the first for Fremd, and they left the bases loaded. That one's ball 4. Runner at second, runner at first, 2 outs.
So Mr. Fuju catching a break there on that interference call. Has 2 outs, 1 on instead of 2 on with 1 out.
That's a ground ball. Second baseman gets a decent hop, and that will be a force out at second base. So a leadoff walk, an interference call on an attempted steal at second base. 1 left on. We'll go to the bottom of the 4th inning with Fremd trailing 2-0. Bottom of the 4th we go. Hoffman Estates trailing. It's leading 2-0. Apologize for that.
Fortunately, my daughter wasn't a girly girl growing up. She was more into baseball and bikes. Fouled back into a neighbor's yard.
Do they have backyard insurance nowadays? They have everything else, volcano insurance, earthquake insurance. If they have backyard insurance, they're covered. That one's low and outside. Do you watch the show Family Guy, Bruce?
On occasion.
Remember the episode where Peter gets conned into buying volcano insurance even though he lives in Rhode Island?
No, I missed that one.
It's pretty funny.
Fly ball out to right field. Anybody going to get there?
Oh, nice catch.
Fielder sticks a glove out. Able to squeeze it.
Back to that Family Guy episode, though. The guy, the salesman, definitely looks like a con artist. He's got like the stereotypical con artist coat, and he's got like that weird accent that you're like, this guy seems kind of sketchy. And he goes to Peter like, do you need to get volcano insurance? And Peter's like, no. There hasn't been a volcano in Rhode Island. That's what's a fly ball to center field. Easily catch for the center field. And Peter's like, there hasn't been a volcano in Rhode Island lately. And the salesman goes, don't you think we're due for one? 2 outs, nobody on. John Keller definitely in a groove now. Trying to improve from those other innings where he was walking and hitting batters. 2 hit by pitches, 3 walks, but no runs given up. A bloop and a blast, and Fremd's back in it. But first they got to get some hits. They've only gotten 1 so far today. No balls and a strike from Keller. In the windup and a strike, right down the middle. That one's high for
Very
a ball.
high.
That would not even be a strike if Yao Ming was at the plate. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That one's low for ball 2.
So Mr. Keller running hot and cold with his placement here tonight.
But locating well enough where batters just cannot get their weight back and drive it. That one's fouled away. Everything seems to be late.
Well, that went out by our other cameraman, Rick.
Just chilling on the bleachers today with his camera. Nice day today, Bruce. Not too windy, not too cold. All we need is a little bit of sun, but when it comes to Illinois spring weather, you can't be too picky.
No, I'll take this.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, nobody on. John Keller trying to get out of it in a 1-2-3 inning. That's a curveball in the outer part of the plate. Ground ball to second baseman. And he beat it out for an infield hit. Nice job by the 9-hole hitter, Hill, as he beats it out for an infield hit. 2 outs, runner at first.
Bang, bang, play at first.
He was definitely safe, though. Good call for the base umpire. Well, Bruce, do you give more of the credit to Hill or some of the blame of the second baseman for not charging that ball?
You could go either way with that one. He did seem a bit nonchalant on it, waiting on the ball to come to him. Oh, nice play by the catcher. Having to really lay out to get that outside pitch.
So that was only the 2nd hit given up today from Mr. Keller. That one's
Strike.
low, but it's for a strike. 1 ball and a strike to the leadoff hitter, Seidel. Seidel hasn't let off the game with a single, and then he struck out looking.
Runner goes, swung on, fouled back.
Definitely bailed out Keller on that one, as that was high and above the letters, but he swung at it. Might have been a hit and run call, though. If it was, that means the batter has to swing at it regardless. You'll see that call a lot at the high school level as they try to get base runners going and try to put the pressure on the defense and the opposing catcher. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 out, runner at first. Keller kind of in a groove today. He's only given up 2 hits, but he's also given up 3 walks and hit 2 batters. That one's low.
In the dirt.
Nice job from Curcio from blocking that ball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Once again, Fremd only trails 2-0, but they got to get the bats going. They only have 2 hits today. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runner at first. Keller on the mound from the set position, and that's low for a ball. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Fremd trying to get closer to 500. They're 8-10 on the season. And according to MaxPreps.com, Hoffman Estates has had a couple of rainouts. They're 4-9 on the year. Also, Fremd had a couple of games down south against some southern high school teams because it gets pretty cold up
Runner
north.
goes, foul ball. Both teams 3-4 in the conference.
And I saw in Max Prep's Bruce is that Fremd has had a lot of trouble playing at home this year. They've been better on the road.
Interesting.
It was like that Cardinals team last year. I think they were like 5 games under 500 at home. That's kind of why the reason the St. Louis Cardinals missed the playoffs. Ground ball to the shortstop. Not the greatest throw in the world, but the first baseman picks it out of the dirt for the last out of the inning. Fremd gets a base runner, but that's all they get. 1 runner left on base. We'll go to the top of the 5th. Hoffman Estates leads by a couple of runs. Top of the 5th as Hoffman Estates leads 2-0 over Fremd for today's HGTV Game of the Week. Well, Bruce, I want you to give an A or B for John Keller's performance today. He has a shutout. He's only given up 2 hits, but he's also given up 3 walks, and he's also hit 2 batters. A or a B performance today from John Keller on the mound?
I've got to give him a B. He has been a bit wild. I'm a bit surprised that Fremd hasn't put the bat on the ball more. Just looking at some of their box scores earlier in the day, and they put some big numbers on their competition.
Yeah, I think they've scored at least 16 to 17 runs in 2 of their victories. That's a leadoff single. That's a way to start a rally. 1 pitch and a runner at first.
Yeah, Hoffman Estates hasn't been hitting very well either. They got to him in the first inning and then not much since then.
They had 4 hits in that top of the first, but since then, the only times they've reached on base have been on walks or an E5. It's, of course, an error from the third baseman. Ground ball. Nice hop. Easy throw to the second baseman. On to first for the 5, 4, 3 double play.
2, 1, no.
You think it's kind of interesting that they call third base 5 and shortstop 6, even though when you look around the diamond, you'll usually think of the shortstop as being before the third baseman?
Yes, that is kind of confusing.
It's fouled away. And then whenever you're catcher, the catcher usually is the one who tells the players what base to throw it to or cut the ball off. So he'll say, cut 3 for a third baseman. So it's 3 on the cut, but 5 on the scoring. But when you look at it, it kind of looks like a 6 on the scoreboard. It gets confusing at third base. That one's a little dinky line drive into left field for a 2-out single.
So that double play, Lumen large.
Oh, absolutely. Definitely was a friendly hop. 2-hopper to the third baseman, perfect strike to the second baseman, and then nice throw at first to get the 5-4-3 double play.
And plenty of time to get the man at first. Wasn't even close.
Curcio's at the plate, 0 for 2 today with a couple of flyouts.
Runner's going.
And got him by 10. Oh! Looks like he was on the bag when they tagged him. Shortstop did not argue the call. Looks like he agreed with the base umpire. And I have to agree, Bruce, too. I think that he was on the base when he made the tag.
Yes, I agree with you. I think he was in safe. I think the throw was a little bit off. Had to catch it and bring it back to the bag, at which time the man was already standing there.
It'll be Cliver with the stolen base. He's 2 for 3 today with an RBI single. So he's 2 for 3, a stolen base and an RBI. Definitely what you want to be do at when you're batting in the 5 hole. That one's fouled away. 2 balls and a strike.
So Hoffman Estates trying to manufacture something here.
Curcio at the plate. Hasn't done much hitting-wise, but he's done very good defensively, as he's done a good job framing that outside pitch, helping his pitcher Keller with some called strikeouts. 2 balls and a strike from Curcio. That one's a line drive, but it's right at the left fielder for an out. So a leadoff single, a 5-4-3 double play, another single, and then a line drive to left field, 1 man left at first. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th. Let's see if Fremd can get a rally. They trail Hoffman Estates 2-0. If you're looking at the scoreboard, it's a 2-0 game. Hoffman Estates leading 2-0, and you would think it's a classic pitcher's duel. But that hasn't really been the case. There's been some walks, some hit-by pitches, a couple of safe calls at second base that could have gone either way, out or safe from the base umpire. And Bruce, it's 2-0, but it doesn't really seem that way.
No, the start of the game, it looked like it could have been a high-scoring game. But the runners stopped getting on base real quick. So it's moved right along since the top of the first.
Yeah, and that top of the first, this is how the game started. A strikeout from Majors, then an infield hit from Grybos, a single from Barnes, a double from Bloom, and an RBI single from Cliver. 4 straight hits, and then since then, Hoffman Estates has only gotten 2 hits. They left the bases loaded in the top of the first, and since then, it hasn't really been much hitting from Fremd either. They only have 2 hits. They left the bases loaded in the bottom of the first, but it's 2-0, but both offenses have definitely had their chances, and they can't seem to get that clutch RBI.
Now, and the throw down to second gets into center field.
But good thing it's a warm-up throw.
That's right.
If Fremd is going to get back in this game, this is definitely an opportune time to do so. They got Wingen, Bennis, and McCabe all due up. That's their 2, 3, and 4 hitters. McCabe, the cleanup hitter today for the Fremd Vikings.
And Fremd with a man down in the bullpen, warming up. We may see a pitching change, or at least they'll have the option.
That one's fouled away.
Another backyard shot over the poplars.
I wonder if that decreases the real estate value for some of these homes, having to worry about foul balls landing in your window. That one's a long drive, but was on the inner part of the plate, and all he can do is foul it off. That's why Major League Baseball umpires are very meticulous on that inside strike call. They don't want to expand the zone because even the half an inch of it being on the inner part of the plate, that batter, all he can really do is foul it off. So if he swings at that pitch, if the umpire keeps calling it a strike, that means all he can do is foul it off. So that's why Major League umpires really got to be meticulous about that inside fastball call. No balls, 2 strikes. Nobody on. That one's fouled away.
Thanks for sharing that inside information.
But at this level, it's not a Major League strike zone. These kids, I guess the fastball's not going as fast, obviously, at the Major League level, so an 84-mile-an-hour fastball, a little bit easier to get around the ball to hit a base hit instead of in the Major Leagues, a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. Is that one strike 3 called? Actually, no, he swung at it. Very hard to, a 98-mile-an-hour fastball, if it's outside the strike zone, very hard to get the bat around on it and hit a base hit. All you're really going to do is either swing and miss or foul it away. Another strikeout throw from Keller. No balls. That's a ground ball. The shortstop bobbles it, and that's going to be an E6. Big break for the Fremd Vikings as Bennis gets on a 1-out error.
Like the shortstop and second baseman playing a little hacky sack out there.
The pros and cons of an aluminum bat. The pros are the game's more scoring and easier for batters to get on base, but the cons are that ball's really coming off the bat, so that shortstop had to play a little bit deep on the ball, and it took a bad hop from the grass. A wooden bat, I think that's an easy one-hopper to the shortstop, and he makes the play easy at first base. But on an aluminum bat, that ball's really coming off the bat and harder for the shortstop to handle it. But it's still an error because he should have made the play.
Definitely. That
1
was
ball, no strikes.
Inside pitch.
Do you miss, when you were a kid, Bruce, did everybody use wooden bats?
Yes, they did.
Do you miss the wooden bats at all from kids using them? Or do you agree that we need to have aluminum bats for more scoring and kids getting more hits?
I really haven't thought that much about the bats. I was always a wooden bat fan because that's what we had back in the day. The only ones that had aluminum bats were the rich kids.
Now the only ones that have the good aluminum bats are the rich kids. 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, bats are really expensive now. I've seen College World Series bats that are upwards of $500 to get a really nice Louisville Slugger bat at the Division I level. That one's high.
Oh, hit him.
Oh, looks like it hit him on the shoulder. That's the 3rd hit by a pitch from Keller today. Nobody's getting warmed up, though, so I would assume this is their best pitcher, Bruce, if nobody's getting warmed up.
You would have to think so. 1 out, 2 on here in the bottom of the 5th.
This might be the most interesting scorebook in the world. He's given up no runs, 2 hits, and 3 walks. 3 hit by pitches. Definitely a high school game and not a major league.
Not too often that you have more hit by a pitch than hits. Inside.
2 balls, no strikes. Well, Jostin's got on base twice, but he does not have a hit yet. Can you guess how he's gotten on base, Bruce?
A walk and a hit.
Hit by pitch, yeah.
Yep.
That one's fouled away. 2 balls and a strike. Well, they try to do their best to save people's backyards as they have the net on the first and third base side.
And the poplars growing to back them up.
Yeah, beautiful trees. Very nice field here at Fremd. They're all nice, but every field at the high school level has a little interesting aspect that separates them from the others. 3 balls and a strike. That one a little bit high.
Seeing more off-speed pitches here from Mr. Keller.
Might be tiring a little bit, so trying to locate that changeup as he tries to go a full complete game today. That one's a line drive. Center fielder not going to have a chance at it as it goes into the left center gap. 1 run will score.
Another man being waved around.
He dropped it. Oh, tough break for the Hawks as he would have been out at the plate, but the catcher had a tough play. He would have had to catch it and then go all the way around with the tag. Not able to do so and safe at the plate.
So just like that, the game is tied.
So because it was a play at the plate, it's only a double and he advances to third base.
So the Hawks now getting a man up out in the bullpen to warm up. Coach out for a little confab on the mound. 1 out, man on third base.
And just like that, we got a new ball game. Well, Bruce, we were going to wonder if those hit by pitches would ever cost Keller. Finally, in the 5th inning, it cost him.
He had a nicely hit ball there to move the men around.
So Johnson is 1 for 1 today with 2 RBIs and an on-base percentage of 1,000. You can't draw it up any better than that. Runner at third, 1 out, infield in. Keller's going to go into his windup as they're trying to get the bullpen up as quickly as possible.
High.
First base open if you want to go down that route. Not a bad decision because we're getting into the bottom of the order now if he decides to walk Goodman. No relation to John.
Would set up a double play possibility.
At least I don't think he's related to John Goodman.
Foul ball.
1 ball and a strike. Keller in the windup. Damage has already been done. 2 runs have already scored for the Vikings.
Oh, squeeze play, foul back.
Very interesting call. What do you think about that call, Bruce? A suicide squeeze in the 5th inning with you already tied the game and you're threatening with a runner at third.
Took me by surprise. I don't know, with only 1 out and a man on third, I don't think I'd have done that, but.
Almost worked though, definitely caught the Hawks by surprise too.
Swung and a miss.
That was a nasty pitch.
Definitely had the element of surprise going for him that time.
So 2 outs after the suicide squeeze goes for naught. That'll bring up the 7-hole hitter, the center fielder, Ho-Nickel. Right.
Off-speed pitch breaks in there.
The men in blue are wearing black today. 2 umpires at the high school level, 1 behind the plate, and 1 on the bases. That one's low for a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. First base open.
Mr. Keller looking out with a bad pitch high out of the strike zone on that suicide squeeze play. Strike called.
2 balls and a strike.
Swung on and missed. Strike 3.
So we get runners at first and second, 1 out, a 2-run double from Jostin, and then back-to-back strikeouts for Keller to get out of the threat with a runner at third and only 1 out. So 2-run score, but more damage could have been done. We'll go to the top of the 6th. We got a brand new ball game, folks. 2-2. 2-2 is our score as we go to the top of the 6th. Bruce, this has definitely been one of the most interesting games I've ever done play-by-play commentary for. Keller has given up 3 hit-by pitches, but only 4 hits and 2 runs given up. And that last inning, we saw a suicide squeeze after we saw the Fremd offense getting into a little bit of a groove. That goes for naught, and then Keller is able to get himself back on track and gets back-to-back strikeouts. So just a very interesting game thus far. Interesting calls on the base pass. And from the umpires, that one's, oh my goodness, what a catch. Da-da-da, da-da-da.
What was the hang time on that?
Had to be at least 2 seconds.
Went up, did a pirouette in midair.
Well, if his baseball career goes for naught, he should definitely check out ballet. It was a nice move by the shortstop on that catch.
Yes, it was. Strike called.
Speaking of ballet, you ever seen the movie Black Swan, Bruce?
No, I have not.
Great movie, great movie.
Fouls it back.
It's got Mila Kunis in it and Natalie Portman. No balls, 2 strikes. I think Portman won for Best Actress.
That sounds right.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 1 out, nobody on. Fuchu got into trouble in the top of the first, but since then has been pretty good. Not fantastic, has walked a couple of batters since then. 2 balls, 2 strikes on the 8-hole hitter, Burks, who's 0 for 1 today with a walk.
Inside, fills the count.
Did not miss by much. We saw both bullpens get active in the 5th, but both managers decided to stick with their starting pitcher.
Fouls it off right at the plate.
Fuju is pitching today, is not hitting. Will McCabe is DHing for him in the cleanup spot.
Swung on and missed.
So that's 2 strikeouts against Burks today. That'll bring up the 9-hole hitter, Slingerland. Wouldn't be the worst thing in the world if the Hawks got a 1-2-3 inning against them, because that would bring up the leadoff hitter, Majors, to lead off the top of the 7th. Majors today is 0 for 2 with a walk. The best hitter today, I guess it's been a
Ball.
1 ball, no strikes. Fuju going into his 6th inning of work on the mound. That one's a ball. 2 balls, no strikes. Fuju on the mound, 2 balls, no strikes. We're all tied up at 2. Hoffman Estates led off the game with 2 runs in the top of the 1st. And
Foul ball.
this past inning, the Fremd Vikings got 2 of their own. Left a runner at 3rd, though, as John Keller got out of the inning in the bottom of the 5th with back-to-back strikeouts with a runner at 3rd base. 2 balls and 2 strikes. That one's fouled away.
High pop-up.
Nope, it's going to stay in play to the 3rd baseman. And that will end the threat. 1, 2, 3. We'll go to the bottom of the 6th, with the Vikings having their first chance to take the lead 2-2 into the bottom half of the inning. Well, that will close the book today on Keller. He goes 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 hit-by pitches, has 3 walks, 2 earned runs. We're going to count the strikeouts today. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 strikeouts for Keller, 2 earned runs. But then again, 3 walks and 3 hit-by pitches. When you walk people and you hit batters, Bruce, eventually that pitch count comes against you.
And it definitely caught up with him in the 5th inning. He seemed to run out of gas. Though he was able to get out of it with 2 strikeouts at the end there.
Yeah, end the threat. Not only did he get out of it, but back-to-back strikeouts. Reared back and threw some great fastballs on the inner parts of the plate to get some swings and misses. Hoffman Estates looking to get a 1-2-3 inning as they go into the top of the 7th. They'll have the 1-2-3 hitters. They'll have their leadoff man, Majors, who's been pretty good today. They'll have Majors, Grybos, and Barnes due up in the top of the 7th for the Hawks. But meanwhile, they got to play good defense. They go to the bullpen. Kurt Foy on the mound, number 21. He's got to get a 1-2-3 inning, and it won't be too hard for him to do that. He's just got the 8-hole hitter Gusti, the 9-hole hitter Hill, and the leadoff hitter Seidel due up in the bottom of the 6th. First off, we got Gusti, who is 0 for 2 with a strikeout. He struck out in the 2nd inning looking. That one's fouled away.
Wonder how many balls the neighbors have. They could have buckets.
No balls and a strike. Gusti at the plate. Foy on the mound. His first inning of work out of the bullpen for the Hawks. That one's low. Remember the movie The Sandlot where there was like 500 baseballs in James Earl Jones's backyard? I know he was blind, but wouldn't he at least like caught on that there were baseballs being hit into his backyard?
Oh, he didn't care. His dog was playing with him. He had his own very special collection.
1 ball, 2 strikes. That one's a little fly ball to left field. Easy catch. 1 away. It's been a very good game defensively, Bruce. Not a lot of errors, good plays. We saw that beautiful play from the shortstop for Fremd, pirouetting in the air as he caught it. The only errors have been from big hops off that lip from the grass on the infield. One out, nobody on. Shows bunt, but holds back, and that'll be outside for a ball. That's the 9-hole hitter, Nate Hill. Hill today is 1 for 1 with an infield hit. That one's high for a ball. The only RBIs of the day from the Fremd Vikings are courtesy of Eric Jostin, who had a 2-run double last inning in the bottom of the 5th. That one's
in the dirt.
For ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. First base is open, but definitely want to go and try to attack him here, because this is their worst hitter in the lineup with Nate Hill. That one is right down the middle, but looks like he said it was outside.
Yeah, you just don't want to walk that 9-hitter. Don't want to walk any of them, but especially not the 9th hitter.
Seidel is 1 for 3 today. He led off the game with an impressive base hit into right field. He tomahawked the ball, but since then, a strikeout and a fielder's choice. Shortstop to the first baseman. That one's high for a ball. Kurt Foy trying to get out of it unscathed, as Hoffman Estates has the top of the lineup coming up in the top of the 7th. We will play extra innings. We do not play California rules, which is different from some travel leagues. They will play California if it's tied after 7. No time limit. We're going to play until there's a victor.
Requesting a new ball.
1 ball, no strikes. Runner at first, 1 out.
Said, I'm not having control issues. There's a problem with the baseball. And he may be right. There was a strike.
1 ball and a strike to the leadoff hitter Seidel, who's in left field today. That one's a line drive, right at the right fielder. He'll catch it. Gonna try to get the double play, but he was safe by a mile. I don't know about that one, Bruce. It was an easy out. Why not just throw it to second base? Why risk having an overthrow and getting the runner over into scoring position? A little bit questionable from the right fielder there.
Well, must have thought he had something out there. Maybe catch the man napping.
He thought he was the reincarnation of Ichiro Suzuki in right field with the with his arm.
Maybe. Runner goes, bunt down.
Foy is going to touch it in fair territory, and that's going to be a bunt single from the 2-hole hitter Wingen. And now we got runners at first and second and 2 outs. That brings up their best hitter, Eric Bennis, 0 for 2 with a walk. Reached on an E6 in the bottom of the 5th, and that led to a whole heap of trouble for John Keller as he hit McCabe, and then Eric Jostin drove in 2 with a double into the left center gap. Runners at first and second, 2 outs.
Long lead at first base.
Line drive into right, but gonna be...
No, he missed it.
Dropped the ball. and that wasn't fair territory, so 2 runs will score. That was a tough play, Bruce. I'm going to call that a double. In the majors, that's an error, but I think at this level, we're going to call that a double. That was a tough play from the right fielder. Well, no matter how you slice it, we're going to call it a double, and it's a 2-run hit from Eric Bennis. Not going to say the game's over, but we haven't really seen a lot from the Hoffman Estates Hawks offense since the top of the first.
Strike called.
Well, the production has been there in the heart of the lineup today for the Fremd Vikings, as 2 RBIs from Bennis and 2 from Jostin. Jostin in the 5-hole, Bennis in the 3rd.
Inside and low.
Jostin is on deck. Do not want to walk McCabe here and get to Jostin. Jostin's been great at the plate. He has a walk, a hit by a pitch, and a 2-run double.
Jostin, that name's got a ring to it.
Tommy Jostin. I'm saying Eric Jostin a couple times. Apologize for that. 1 ball and a strike. Runner at second, 2 out. That one's inside for a ball. First base technically is open, but Jostin has definitely been their best hitter at the plate. Definitely has the best eye on the team, as he took one for the team, a hit by a pitch in the 3rd and walked in the bottom of the 1st.
Outside.
3 balls and a strike here in the bottom of the 6th.
So what's this batter done today?
We got McCabe at the plate, line drive to center, struck out looking in the 3rd, and then a hit by a pitch in the 5th, and then later scored in that 5th inning. That one's fouled away.
Swung out and missed.
Well, John Keller was pretty good today. That thing he's got to work on is that inside fastball. Could not locate it at all today. Hit 3 batters. One of them went on to score in the bottom of the 5th.
A couple of those were off speed, luckily for the batters.
Yeah, you don't want to be getting too cute with that off-speed pitch on the inner part. You want to get that low or get it outside. That's a walk to McCabe, bringing up Tommy Jostin with a chance to really put this one away.
So men at 1st and 2nd, 2 outs.
Courtesy runner for McCabe. It's going to be number 6, Mark Bechtold. At this level, you could re-enter. So Bechtold is the pinch runner. If they want to, they can re-enter McCabe.
Little meeting at the mound.
I'm sure the catcher remembers Jostin today, knowing that he's not going to swing anything outside the strike zone, so you're going to have to locate well, get it at the knees, see if you can get it on the inner part and try to jam him.
And don't give him anything too good to hit.
This first pitch is probably going to be on the inner part of the plate. I would be very surprised if he threw it right down the middle. Runners at 1st and 2nd, 2 outs. He does. Big drive into the left center gap. Will it go? Goodbye.
Home run.
1 run will score. 2 runs will score. And 3 runs will score. A 3-run bomb from Tommy Jostin. He's definitely getting the game ball today. That's 5 RBIs for the 5-hole hitter. No doubt about that one, Bruce.
No, he got all of that.
And that was right down the middle. The one thing I told Foy not to do, and he went against my wishes.
Should have listened to you. I'll bet next time he does.
Jostin has 2 hits today. Both of them have been extra base hits. A 3-run homer and a 2-run double. An on-base percentage of 1,000. If he's on your fantasy team and you started him, good job by you. Do they have high school fantasy baseball, Bruce?
I don't know. I'm so far removed from high school.
Back when you were the coolest daddy-o in town and during your high school days?
No, they didn't.
No balls and a strike. Tommy Jostin with 5 RBIs today for the Fremd Vikings. All 5 of them in the last 2 innings. That one's low and outside for a ball. Well, Hoffman Estates started off the game well, had the bases loaded in the top of the 1st after scoring 2 runs, and since then, been very quiet at the plate. They're going to need hits and a lot of them if they're going to come back in this one. That one's a line drive into right field. The inning could have ended. There was a line drive into right field. It was to the right fielder's left. Dropped the ball, though. 2 runs scored. We called it a double because at this level, these outfielders aren't professionals yet. That was a hard-hit ball, so we called it a double. That kept the inning going. Another walk, and then Jostin with the 3-run bomb into the left center gap. Estimated went 375 feet from that home run from Jostin.
So the right fielder is playing very prominently in the last 2 games we've seen from the Hawks.
That HETV game of the week when Hoffman Estates came back in the 7th. An unfortunate error from Conant allowed the rally to start for Hoffman Estates. It was a leadoff error in right field. This time, 2 outs and the right fielder not able to catch it. That allowed 2 runs to score for Fremd, and then 2 batters later, Jostin with the big 3-run bomb. Fremd looking to get their 9th win of the season. Hoffman Estates, if they're going to get a rally going, they would get their 5th win of the season.
There's ball 2.
Well, Bruce, decision time. Fuchu's gone 6 innings. You're now up by 5 runs. Do you let him finish what he started?
I think you give him a chance.
And he also
got breathing room.
And you also have to worry about pitch count at this level, making sure that they're not throwing too many pitches. But you also got to make sure they're not throwing too many pitches in stressful situations. If you throw 100 pitches, but you weren't throwing a lot of pitches with runners on base, especially in scoring position, it's not a stressful pitch. So 100 pitches can be a misleading statistic sometimes. If you threw 80 pitches, but 50% of the time you had runners at first or at second base, then yeah, that's a little bit more stressful on your arm. That's
ball 4.
From Kurt Foy.
And he did throw a lot of pitches that first inning. Fremd does have a man warmed up and ready to go if they want him. So 2 outs, 2 on, first and second.
That'll bring up the 9th batter of the inning, Honickel. The inning started with an F7, a fly out to left field from Gusti.
Throw down to second base, back in time. That pitch was in the dirt.
Better late than never today for the Fremd offense. Did not score until the bottom of the 5th.
Well, saving it for the end when they needed it.
Kind of like the Cubs as of late. Did you see last night's game where they only won 1-0 off 2 hits?
No, I saw the score. I didn't see the game.
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, they'd been bombing it.
But the couple of victories they had against the Brewers and the Reds, they were coming from behind all the time. 3 balls, no strikes. Bullpen getting up for Hoffman Estates, but I think they want Foy to finish what he started this inning. Game's pretty much over, although crazier things have happened in high school baseball. Especially if the defense keeps committing errors. If you commit a couple errors in the 7th, things could happen for Hoffman Estates.
Ball 4.
And that will bring up the 10th batter of the inning, the leadoff hitter, Gusti, who flew out to left field.
Yeah, things kind of tense there for the Hawks, too. The only play there's no defense for in baseball, and that's the base on balls. And there's going to be a meeting at the mound.
And they're going to go to the bullpen here, so that'll close the book on Foy. Since we considered that play in right field a double, all 5 runs are earned against Foy. He is the pitcher of record for the Hoffman Estates Hawks if they choose to pull him here. He's going to talk to his pitcher and then go to the bullpen if he decides to do so. 5 earned runs against Foy. 3 hits given up, gave up a double, gave up a home run. The only ball that was hard hit was that home run from Jostin. Well,
and boy, was it. Well hit, center field. And looks like they're going to leave Foy in there.
I take that back. The ball from Bennis was pretty hard hit, but the only ball that was really hard hit was the one from McCabe, the home run. I mean, from Jostin, 3-run homer. Bottom of the 6th, Fremd with the bases loaded. Ground ball into the hole, that will score 2, and now we're getting close to the 10-run rule. And missed the tag. 9-2 is our score.
And the floodgates have opened.
If Seidel hits a home run, that would end the game. We play 10-run rule, slaughter rule at the IHSA level. 9-2 is our score. 7 runs here in the bottom of the 6th. It all started from a 1-out walk from Hill, an infield hit from Wingen, and a 2-run double from Bennis, where the right fielder for Hoffman Estates was not able to caress the ball. And then a 3-run homer from Jostin really opened the floodgates.
Strike called.
That was the storyline for the Monday game, Hoffman Estates against Fremd, as Hoffman Estates scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 3rd, and that was it. 4-2 is our score. Fremd scored 2 in top of the 2nd.
Swung on, fouled back.
1 ball and a strike. Well, we had a good game, Bruce, for most of it. Just bottom of the 6th with the floodgates open, and that was it. But most of this game has been very fun to watch.
Yeah, it was a close game there until recently.
Besides that home run from Jostin, it's been very close for most of this day. That's a line drive into the hole.
That'll score another run.
10-2. I think he's leaving Foy in there to try to build his confidence up. Something that he can work on for his next outing on the mound. But nope. Calls time. It looks like he's going to go to the bullpen. Does not want to be slaughtered today. A 2-run double would end it.
I think he may have wanted to save his pitching for the next game. Not able to do it. Now to say Foy was ineffective today would be a bit of an understatement.
Well, if that right fielder makes that catch, I'm not going to say that, I mean, that was a tough play. He makes that catch, we don't really remember about Foy, but just wasn't able to get out of that jam after Bennis hit that shot to right field. Could not regain his composure, and then right down the middle to Jostin. Jostin made him pay. So this call on the bullpen as Hoffman Estates trails 10-2. Fremd has scored 8 runs in this bottom of the 6th inning. They're trying to get back to 500. If they win today, assuming they will, they would move to 9-10 on the season, and Hoffman Estates would fall to 4-10.
As I said earlier, Fremd's been scoring some runs this year. They've put up some pretty good scores on their other games.
They've scored 16 and 17 runs in their other games, respectfully, but always a big rivalry when Hoffman Estates plays Fremd. So we saw that for most of this game from Hoffman Estates, but sometimes one play can change the whole direction of the game. The right fielder just couldn't make that catch, and then the floodgates opened.
Yep. And some players from Northern Hoffman Estates going here to Fremd High School, so maybe some Hoffman Estates players on the Fremd team.
Jim Cliver was the one who made that, well, not air, but could have made that catch in right field. He's 2 for 3 today. And like I said, he leads Hoffman Estates in all 3 of the slash lines, batting average, on base percentage, and slugging, but just couldn't make the play in right field. And that's really the story of the game. A play that could have been made in right field would have been tied. That would have been the 3rd out of the inning. We would have gone to the top of the 7th. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Did not make the play. A 3-run homer from Jostin shortly after that, and a couple hits, a couple of walks later, and now it's 10-2. That's a strike in the outer part.
And who's our relief pitcher here?
Gotta get my phone out. Can't see his number.
I think it's 23. Swung on and missed.
Looks like he tried to win the game on that swing. A 3-run homer or a 2-run double will end it. We play 10-run slaughter rule at the high school level.
I know that's not Michael Jordan on the mound.
It's not? Ah. Richie Bannis is on the mound today for the Hoffman Estates Hawks.
Very righteous beard on Mr. Bannis.
It's all about the beard, Bruce.
It is. Gotta face it. Ball.
Do you think James Harden has the best beard in all of sports?
That's bushier than I like.
No, too bushy for you? There's this really funny video of an ESPN on-air talent who wears like a fake beard, like one of those Abraham Lincoln fake beards, and he goes around to like an Oklahoma City senior center, and he asks all the seniors, who's the real MVP? I'm the real MVP, right? And they're like, no, we like this Westbrook guy. We think his triple-doubles are pretty righteous.
Popped up on the infield. First baseman
Makes the catch.
had to backpedal a little bit, but able to get under it.
Finally, the inning is over, but the damage has definitely been done. 8 runs scored, headlined by a 3-run homer from Tommy Jostin. We'll go to the top of the 7th. Game seems pretty much out of reach. 10-2, last chance for the Hoffman Estates Hawks. 10-2 as we go to the top of the 7th. Victor Fuju is going to finish what he started, trying to get the complete game. Doesn't have to worry about the scoreboard. His offense bailed him out in the bottom of the 6th. And we saw Fremd score 8 runs. If you're just joining us, this game was 2-0 going into the bottom of the 5th. But after a 2-run double from Tommy Jostin, that made it 2-2. Hoffman Estates could not score in the top of the 6th, and then Fremd scored 8 runs, headlined by the 3-run homer from who else but Tommy Jostin with the 3-run homer. 10-2 is our score. But it was definitely a ball game before that.
Yes, it was. And in the first inning, it looked like Hoffman Estates would be capable of scoring big time, but they've been shut out since that first. Left the bags juiced. Not a lot going on since then.
The old cliche, baseball's a game of inches. If Hoffman Estates was able to get a couple runs in that first, maybe we see a whole different ball game. But Fuju got out of the jam, and since then he's settled down for most part. That's an easy 1-3 put out. Brings out the 2-hole hitter, the DH, Grybos. Got an infield hit in the first inning, and then since then hasn't really done much. A couple of a fielder's choice, and that one's a fly ball to left. That one's caught. 2 outs, 2 up, 2 down. As Hoffman Estates is down to their last out of the game, they'll bring up Barnes, who's 2 for 3 today with a run scored.
Well, gave it a nice ride, but just a long out. High.
1 ball, no strikes. 10-2 is our score. Fremd trying to get their 9th win of the season. That one low for ball 2. We lucked out today, Bruce. No rain.
We did.
That one's fouled
Swung
away.
on, fouled straight back.
And because I said that, we're probably going to see 2 walks, a hit by a pitch, a grand slam, and then it starts to rain. 2 balls and a strike. That's high for ball 3.
Now they were saying a good possibility after 6 o'clock. It's 6:15.
Still no rain. Ground ball through the first second base hole. He's going to try to get him at first. Just safe. You don't really see that at high school too much, but that's a lot. You see that a lot in Little League, the 9-3 putout. Especially those specially made Little League parks where it's like 180 and 190 on the first and, on the right field and left field lines, respectively. So it's just a really short field. That will close the day on Fuju. They'll go to the mound, to the bullpen. Tom Neri.
Yeah, surprised how close that play was at first.
Just always got to hustle, Bruce. You can never, nothing is guaranteed in the game of baseball. Hustle at all times.
Do the hustle. Well, too bad Mr. Fuju not able to get the complete game.
Yeah, he really hurt himself in that first inning. Threw one too many pitches, and head coach Chris Piggott did not want to, risk it. Why have them throw extra pitches? A complete game is nice, but you're really worrying about the future of their arms.
That's right.
And it looked like he was kind of wearing out with his fastball. Looked like he didn't really have much left in the tank, and decided to go to the bullpen to get the last out of the game. Well, Hoffman Estate's trailing by 8 runs, so you would assume that with the new pitcher, they're going to take the first pitch, and they're going to make him throw a strike. Take as many pitches until he starts throwing strikes.
Yep, I want to see one before I swing at it.
Well, the one play that we've reiterated over and over again is the play in right field where Jim Cliver misplayed the ball in right field. But, Bruce, what other play can you think of, or what happened in this game where it just kind of did not go the way for the Hawks? Is it that first inning when they left the bases loaded?
Yeah, that was a big one. They had a big opportunity, could have had a huge inning there, weren't able to capitalize on it. Anytime you leave the bags loaded, it's a bad way to end an inning. Ball high. Had a chance for so much more there in the first.
1 ball, no strikes. Runner at first. I assume he's not going to try to steal here, down by 8 runs. Does not. 2 balls, no strikes. Tom Neri into the game. Tries to finish the job for Fuju. If that runner scores, he will close the book on Fuju. He would be giving up 3 earned runs today. Pitchers of record are Fuju and Foy. Was not the day for Foy. He gave up 8 earned runs out of the bullpen for the Hawks.
Strike called, 2-1. Swung on, fouled away.
2 balls and 2 strikes. Runner at first, 2 outs. Fremd trying to get their 9th victory of the season. That one's fouled away. If Hoffman Estates ends up losing this, they will be getting their 10th loss of the season, going into the double-digit category. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Hoffman Estates down to their last strike of the game. That's a line drive, just foul. And left fielder's going to let that one go.
Another illustration of the game of inches. That was very close.
Well, Hoffman Estates is not going away without a fight. They're going to fight to the last strike here. Down to their last strike, down by 8. Line drive, trying to get over the center field's head. It will, off the fence. He's going to hold him at third base. No reason to send him because you're down 8 runs. His run means nothing. 2-out double. That's a double from Bloom. His second one of the day. 2 extra base hits for Mr. Bloom, playing first base today. 2 outs. Cliver at the plate. First base is open if they want to go down that route. Cliver's been very good at the plate. Not so good on defense, as he could have made a catch in the 6th to end the threat, dropped the ball, 2 runs scored, and then 2 batters later, Tommy Justin blew the game open with a 3-run bomb into the left center gap. 1-0 is our count. Ground ball through the hole.
That'll score 2.
Okay, Bruce, getting a little interesting here. A base hit, 10-4 is our score.
Big 10-4 there, good buddy.
I should have known that was coming. I should have known.
You should have.
I blew it. I blew it. At least I didn't buy volcano insurance like Peter Griffin did, though. I applaud myself for that. That's a strike on the inner part.
So Hoffman Estates making it interesting. Making some noise here in the top of the 7th.
Well, Tom Neri is doing everything that he needs to do. Just throwing strikes, not walking anybody. This one will end it. Fly ball to the second baseman would not even be a homer in a Little League park. Damage is done, but Hoffman Estates needed 6 more runs to tie it up. That will end the game after the fly out to the second baseman. 10-4 is our score. Hoffman Estates falls to 4-10 on the season, and Fremd improves to 9-10. Player of the game today is Tommy Jostin, who had 5 RBIs, including a 3-run bomb into the left center gap. Bruce, your final thoughts on today's game?
It was definitely a game of 2 halves. Hoffman Estates owning the first half of the game. Actually, the first 2/4 or 4/7 of the game, and then Fremd coming back with a vengeance at late to take the lead and build up a good size lead going into the 7th and going home with a victory. 10-4.
10-4 is our final score, as Fremd scored 2 in the bottom half of the 5th, 8 in the 6th, and Hoffman Estate scored 2 in the 1st, went scoreless the rest of the game except for that top of the 7th. Tried to get a fight, tried to have a late game rally, but not enough to finish off the rally and come back in this one. So the Vikings win easily, 10-4. Thanks for listening. We'll be back next Wednesday for the high school baseball game of the week. I'm Kyle Smith, signing off with Bruce Anderson. Have a great night, everybody.